Welcome back to Time by the Tent. I'm Joey Baird.
I'm Holly Baird.
And we are going to go to the hotline to bring in a very well-known YouTuber, Tony from Random Adventures 2.0. Holly, let's go to the hotline and bring him in.
Tony is the host of YouTube channel Random Adventures 2.0. He's an outdoor enthusiast and part of the Stealth Camping Alliance and loves camping and the outdoors. Welcome to the program, Tony.
Hey, absolutely. Thank you guys for having me.
Well, thank you for taking time out of your very busy schedule, as it appears you have on YouTube, and entertaining and educating Holly, myself, and all of our listeners. We thank you for that.
Oh, well, thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate this.
Well, we love inviting you in every Thursday evening for your weekly show in our living room. We hope you don't mind the mess every now and then, but we like whenever you come over.
Nice. And I enjoy getting over. Absolutely.
Well, you're a couple of years into your YouTube channel. What was the motivation, or where was the, hey, I should make a YouTube channel moment for you? Where did that come from?
Well, my wife and I had visited Arizona and just fell in love with the area. And I was, taking lots of pictures and videos. And then we kind of love hiking and stuff, and we were following somebody. Jay Wanders Out came up on the TV that he was going to start the Arizona Trail several years back, and her and I talked about it and things, and said, "Hey, we're going to follow him." So we followed him the whole 800 and some miles, and I thought, "Wow, this is really interesting how he's, recording his daily journey through it." And one day Lisa said, "You know what? You should do that. Start recording our stuff and, your adventures." And I was on my way to work the one day, and I set the phone up on the dash. I thought, you know what? If I'm going to do this, I'm at a red light. I'll just say it, because if I say it, then I'm going to do it. And I hit record, and I said, "Hey, I'm going to start a YouTube adventure channel." And I looked up and the light turned green. I said, "Oh, the light's green." And I pulled away and the phone fell off the dash. And that's how it all started.
Well,
then 2 weeks later, I went out and made the very first video, Coffee in the Woods.
Well, now tell us, if you don't have any videography history or studies or any education in that realm, do you? Because your videos are very professional mannered when viewing them.
Well, thank you. No, I don't. I just have, I want to show people through my eyes. And the reason I transition so much with different angles, a lot of people think I've got a whole bunch of cameras. I use my phone for everything. Okay. So I just move the camera, because I want to try to move it every so often, to kind of, if you're not paying attention to what I'm saying, at least the change in scenery will make you, continue to be interested in watching longer videos.
Well, with that, my next question would be, whenever you're doing that and you're having 4 or 5 angles in a public place, do you have problems with people like, what are you doing? Get away, don't film? Or is it kind of like, don't say anything and we're good?
Yeah, I pretty much, I'm talking to you guys. It's like, do they want to approach a guy that's got a whole bunch of people following him? That's my mentality. When I'm filming, it's you guys are right there with me. And I'm very cautious of capturing people. I try to get areas and do things. I'm just not concerned with other people. So I just kind of do it. And every once in a while, someone says, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I said, "I'm just filming for my YouTube channel." They're like, "Oh, that is so awesome. That's what I thought you were doing." And then that strikes up a conversation. And Lord willing, maybe I'll get another subscriber, right?
Well, sooner or later, you'll be like Steve Wallace. You won't be able to go anywhere and do anything without being bombarded.
Well, one can only hope, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So you are about to embark on a road trip out west. Why did you want to go on this trip? And is it just for the fun of it, the journey? What's the reasoning there?
Well, I hadn't really thought about it early on, because, the March 24th will mark the 1-year anniversary of my stroke. I had a major stroke just 1 year ago. And that that I hit 500 subscribers that morning, and then that evening, I'm, in a hospital bed, and I picked up the phone and I said, "Hey, hit 500 subscribers and had a stroke," literally. And I said, come along with me on this journey of recovery. So I have a whole playlist just for stroke. And 50 days after the stroke, 49 days, I put the backpack on and had my daughter drop me off at a Walmart parking lot. I thought, you know what, I'm going to see how this goes. And I went into the woods, and it was tough, but I wanted to prove to myself that it's still possible, and I set the hammock up, cooked, and next morning, I woke up and ate breakfast and hiked out. And hiking out was only about maybe 20 yards, but it was something. And then just through doing more and more, I've been beyond blessed, because I started that Mail Monday 23 weeks ago. My first piece of mail came in, and because people said, you should put a post office box, and I did, and just gear started coming in, and the thought of I might get out of the state a little bit more to use the gear, and then I'm just going to take it across America, and that's kind of where it's journeyed from there. And I did those shakedown hikes, so I think we're up to number 10, but I've now completely set up. So tomorrow morning we leave. So the car's totally set up, ready to go. And I'm just going to plan on camping across America.
Well, you spoke about your stroke a year ago. First, you've shared a lot of information on your YouTube channel in regards to that journey. One, yes. Did you know what was happening when it was happening? And what was that? Was there a fear that this might not end well for you? Yes.
So I didn't quite know what it was, but for probably a couple weeks, I was seeing a lot of stars in my eyes, like floaters.
Right.
And I was like, something's going on. And then I was getting a little overwhelmed at different times. And I don't usually get like that. So that was kind of odd for me. About a day or two before. And then I did the camping under the bridge, 27 hours, the one challenge, 27 hours. That was in February. Or no, I'm sorry, the March challenge, the bridge challenge, 27 hours prior to my stroke. So I had gone home that morning and edited quick, and then put it up posted it, and then went to work later that night. And I worked at nights. At work, that was the day I hit 500 subscribers. And then at work, I was having trouble writing a checklist for a piece of equipment. I was doing some training and stuff on forklifts and stuff, and I was having trouble writing. And I've got really good handwriting, but I couldn't form my letters correctly. And then I started veering to the right when I walked, and then I started pausing with all of my words. And then someone said, "Hey, are you pausing on purpose?" And I said, "No, I'm trying to articulate the words." And they said, "Oh, you need to go to the hospital." So I called my wife, Miss 2.0, and she said, "Are you talking like that on purpose?" And I was like, "No." She goes, "Well, you need to call 911 immediately." So I called my supervisor, and they came back and got an ambulance, and then I took a ride, and it progressed from there. So en route, my face started to droop, and I really started slurring my words, and well, that's where it all started.
And I've said this to people, that just a moment this way or that way can change the outlook of your life, whether you wait a second to hold the door open and you didn't get to that stop sign before somebody ran it, or for your instance, you were around people who knew what was going on. You wasn't under that bridge, which may have ended fatal because you didn't have anybody to help you. Right. Yeah. Everything happens for a reason. And since the stroke, I mean, I look at, just in preparation for this trip, and I actually, I know the Lord didn't cause it, but he allowed it because he's got a purpose for it. He does. Yeah. And I trust in that purpose. There's been a call on my life for a lot of years that I haven't actually walked in for a little while.
and that's to do the work of an evangelist and just be an encourager to others. And so I'm hoping to, well, it's already started ever since I went down to pick up the car carrier. I met so many wonderful people. And if that's any indication, those 3 days of what this trip is going to be like across America and back, it's going to be an epic journey. It really, really is.
And because of the stroke, you probably have a new outlook on life compared to what you had or thought you had before.
Yeah, I mean, I could have been dead.
Yeah.
I literally could have been. And I wouldn't say it's a whole new outlook, but it's more of a grounded, centered, okay, there's a purpose in this. Now, what is that purpose? Let me walk in it.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So in your adventures, did you ever have a point where maybe you didn't post a video because you decided that adventure needed to end? It was too risky. Maybe you were concerned for your safety and you were like, you know what? I went out to go camp, and then you decided to change your mind because it just didn't feel safe to you.
Believe it or not, no. So I have never, ever gone somewhere where I had to, oh, you know what? Yes, I did. Oh, now that you mention it, now that it comes to mind, there was one time I just didn't feel right. I was going to go near a McDonald's, and then that just didn't seem right. And I had an uneasy feeling about the whole area. But I did end up finding an abandoned hotel not too far away, and I pulled up and I saw 2 state police vehicles there, and I just kind of hung back a little bit like, oh, wonder what's going on here. And then I went to the other hotel that was in the area, and there was a groundskeeper there. He was putting some trash in, and I pulled up and I said, hey, do you know anything about this place up there? There's 2 police officers. He said, yeah. They found a dead body yesterday up there. And I was like, okay, thank you. And so I decided not to camp that night, and I ended up going home. But I did find another location for the next night.
That's that feeling you get that you're supposed to listen to.
Yes, and I'm very sensitive to that now. So, yeah.
Well, Mrs. Random 2.0 is obviously a very big supporter of your outdoor adventures. For people who may not have that support mechanism, that spouse, that partner, is there any advice on how you can encourage them to be more supportive or show them that, hey, this is maybe a good thing for both of us?
Yeah, I would say do little adventures, because once you get into nature, if somebody's, a little fearful of nature, it really depends on the reason why. So you got to find out that why. Why are you not interested in it? And then kind of come at that why. Is it because we're fearful of it? Or, that's one of the reasons I did start the channel, is because there's so many people that are just, there's anxiety in America today. Right. For just really, it's kind of overwhelming for a lot of people. But just to go from the couch to the car, that's something they only see every day. Well, my thing is like, just do something random. Just take a different route. And if it's getting into nature and you want to, or you'd like to, but you're just afraid of it, well, then just drive to a trailhead, look at the sign, and then drive home. That is a huge accomplishment. And maybe that's doing that together, and then plan a little trip, maybe a small hike. Just don't take your spouse on a 20-mile journey the first time they'll never want to go. So start very, very small.
Right.
But Lisa is, Miss 2.0 is extremely supportive, and we do a lot of things together. We did rock climbing and stuff before the stroke. I was her belayer, and then she loves to indoor climb and stuff, and we were going to be venturing outside, but then I had the stroke. And until I get some good grip on this right side yet, she's a little hesitant to have me let her go 3 stories tall and not be able to get her down safely. Yeah.
Now, she, from what it appears, she's not a big put me on camera type of person. But do you ever intend to bring her out camping with you, even if she maybe is behind the scenes, just to spend an evening or a couple of days out in the woods together?
Yeah. I mean, those are all in the plans. And we, right before the stroke, we were hiking overlooks.
Okay.
She loves to hike, so we've been to quite a few overlooks, and there's a playlist of just overlooks that she's been on as well. In fact, we spent our anniversary, I think it was our 34th wedding anniversary, on the top of an overlook that we hiked to and back down. Yeah.
So when you look for places to, hammock camp, stealth camp, etc., do people ever, write into you and say, hey, this would be a good place, and you consider it, but then you're kind of suspect of the location?
Why are they telling you
why
this?
are they telling you that? Does that ever happen for you?
It really hasn't. Most people haven't suggested things, and if they do, I just go, oh, nice, yeah, I'll have to check that out. But I, look at it on Google, do a street view. There's reconnaissance,
right.
So some different things you need to do. But yeah, that could be a worry. But most people that would suggest something to me, I don't have to worry about them. Yeah, my daughter told me about a place that they went swim in a reservoir. So that was during the shakedown, because I wanted to imitate, say, like a Bureau of Land Management land, because I'm going to run across a lot of those. And I wanted to simulate that in PA here, which there is no BLM land that I'm familiar with. So it is a place that I had gone to do where I cooked the cheeseburgers on the little buddy heater
right.
with that hack,
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So with your trip out west, is there something that, first of all, you're looking forward to the most, you're just really jazzed about, and then second of all, something that in your preparation you're just like, okay, I can prepare for this, but I'm not really sure about it, kind of like good and bad?
Yeah, I was trying to plan the trip, like I'm going to be here, then I'm going to go over here. And I was getting very overwhelmed with that process, just because I can't plan. It's random. Right. It's random adventures, and so I threw the whole planning process out the window, but with leave no trace. It wasn't literal. I didn't throw it out the window, but I basically said, you know what, it's got to be random. And that's pretty much how it's going to be, I believe. If I feel like, hey, I should stop here, I should, when I get in an area, I'm always going to stop at like a visitor center for the state and kind of grab a brochure and see what some things are in the area, and then try to plan that.
Right. And you maybe experience this like we have. The more you plan, the less good things happen. Yes.
And, when you do plan things, then you're usually under pressure to try to make it happen. And I don't want any of that to interfere with the trip.
Now, you have a number of grandchildren. Are they of age to know that Grandpa's a YouTube star?
No.
Okay.
So, yeah, they're from, our oldest is, Hunter is 7, going to be 8, and he's the oldest. And the youngest are like 7, 8 months old. 2 of them are that old, but we have 6 grandchildren.
But your legacy will live on.
Seven. Whoops. Almost 8.
Almost. Well, your legacy will live on whenever you no longer are here, and that's the nice thing about YouTube.
Yes, and that's one of the things that I've often thought of. I'm chronicling something for my grandkids, and hopefully their grandkids.
Because whenever you were younger, you just had maybe a few pictures and a story. They have actual documentation, video. This is what Grandpa did. This is how happy and fun he was. Yes,
absolutely.
I got to tell you, Tony, because I grew up camping, tent camping, in the beautiful state of Wisconsin here. And it was passed down. My grandparents took my mom camping, and I just know he loves state parks. Every time I go to a state park, I just reflect on him, and I think about what you're passing on to your grandkids and the visuals. I mean, all I have is some pictures and whatnot. So, I love that you're providing that for your grandkids, and maybe one of them will find something and really take off too with the outdoors.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's my hope, that not only my grandkids, but other people will be encouraged as well.
Well, you show that a misfortune, meaning the stroke, doesn't mean that life's over.
Yeah, no, life is not over. But, so many people feel that it is.
Right.
And I'm trying to show through my stroke series. In fact, people from all over the world have messaged me or emailed me and said that they had a stroke and they were, not doing anything about it. And eventually they needed to, get out themselves, they said, or I'm encouraging them to get out. So I've been really blessed that way to have so many people encouraging me. And that's all I hope to do is encourage others.
Absolutely.
That it's not the end of the world.
No.
And everybody's stroke it's not a cookie cutter. Everybody's going to be different. But, everybody has the same fears.
Right.
That's one thing that is the same, something to overcome, which is the fear.
Well, Tony, we greatly appreciate the time you've offered us. How can people whom are not familiar with you get and find you on the wonderful world of internet?
Yeah. So I do have a Facebook group as well. It's called Random Adventures 2.0 Family. And then you can, a lot of times I always post, or not every video on that, but I also post, on YouTube. I upload, Mondays and Thursdays and Sunday Night Lives and Mail Mondays. But Mail Monday ended. Tonight was the last Mail Monday for about 2 months. And I am going to be putting in the travel vlog videos on Mondays and Thursdays. And maybe some other stuff in between. But you can find me on YouTube. Just type in Random Adventures 2.0. By the time you get to ADV on Adventure, I usually pop up.
I see. Well, Tony, we thank you for your time.
Absolutely. Well, I really appreciate you guys. This has been wonderful.
Absolutely.
For more information, please visit thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com.